The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment. You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the stat boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dori Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D-18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show.
Hello, my internet fans. Welcome to this December 5th edition. We have only 26 more days left of 2023 of Stat Boy Sports Bar featuring Dori Lou. But Dori Lou is not with us today. She worked a double shift today in Gatlinburg. Priorities and passions over principle and all that. I'll get that right. That's my New Year's resolution, to get that statement right. I'll get it right eventually. Throw it up there right now. The first botch took 30 seconds in. Go right ahead, producer Jeff. Yeah, thank you. Get it out of the way. And that I get one, but don't be surprised if there are more. But yes, Dori Lou is not with us today. She had to work. But that's okay. The show must go on with producer Jeff in the small window. We have plenty to talk about. We have there is a rant alert. There will be a rant, hence the shirt. And as always, if you want to dictate the conversation, if you want me to stop dead in my tracks while I am ranting and speaking, do what is on the ticker. Super chat, super chat, super chat. It's as simple as that. Please, super chat, please. It's the holiday season, the season of giving. We start in... It's
the holiday season, so hoop-dee-doo and dickory-dock. And don't forget to turn on your clock and pay us super chats, because we rock, and, yeah, we need money. Anyway, carry on.
As stated in the opening that you see each week, we do combat sports. And the UFC has signed Cuban Taekwondo fighter and Olympic fighter, I hope I get your name right, Robles Despaigne. He is fighting out of Florida. He currently does have an MMA record of 4-0, all by knockout. He is a 2012 bronze medalist in the 80 kilogram weight class in Taekwondo. He is the 2013 and 2015 bronze medalist in the World Taekwondo Championship. And he is the 2014 Central American and Caribbean Games gold medalist. The big stat about this guy, not only is that he is 6'7" and weighs 258 pounds, but as you can see by his hands, he has an 84-inch reach. Wikipedia is saying is 87. So imagine if The Undertaker, who is about 6'10", 6'11", 84 inches is about 7 feet tall. Imagine if The Undertaker was lying flat on his back and this gentleman decided to put his arms out. He would just be about an inch or two short of, he'd have an inch or two longer on The Undertaker. I always use The Undertaker in height comparison. Like whenever I meet really tall people, I'm like, how tall are you? Oh, I'm about 6'9". I'm like, well, Undertaker's 6'10". You know, Andre was 7 foot, I believe.
Andre was 7'5". I'm recording Gorilla Monsoon at WrestleMania 3.
Big Show is 7 foot?
Big Show was billed at 7 foot. I think he was originally 7'2".
All right.
But I could be thinking of somebody else there.
We know Shaq is a little bit taller than Big Show. So.
Well, I know Shaq's 7'2", and he's a big boy because my office chair at home is a Shaquille O'Neal design, and it's very comfortable. This one, it was literally found on the freaking curb, so it is what it is.
There you go. So this new fighter has come in. He's had fights in Fury FC and Titan FC. Dana and the TKO people decided to sign him to the UFC. Who knows when he's going to make his debut, but with an 84 or 87-inch reach, you better
He can debut anywhere he wants.
Oh, yeah. If you're anywhere within a 7-foot radius, he'll get you. And he's Taekwondo, so there you go. So congratulations to you, and welcome to the UFC. And as soon as he gets a fight, we'll see where it goes with that.
There you go.
Right. There it is. There it is indeed. Big guy. All right, up next is college basketball. We are in week 5. Again, remember that the rankings are by polling 62 different sports writers and broadcasters from across the nation. Each voter provides their own ranking of the top 25 teams. Then they get a point, 25 for the top team, all the way down to 1. All 62 are compiled, and these are your results. And the Arizona Wildcats are the new number 1 team. They moved up 1 spot. Kansas is number 2. They moved up 3 spots. Houston is 3. They moved up a spot. Purdue was the number 1 team. They dropped down 3. UConn Huskies dropped a spot. Baylor moved up 3. Gonzaga moved up 4. Marquette, almost the roller coaster drop. They dropped 5. North Carolina took a nice jump, 8 spots moving up. Creighton moved up 5 spots. Florida Atlantic moved up 2. Texas moved up 4. Colorado State moved up 7. BYU moved up 5. And the U, Miami, dropped. That's the roller coaster drop, 7. Kentucky dropped 4. Tennessee, our Volunteers, dropped 7. James Madison went up 4. Oklahoma went up 6. Illinois dropped 4. Texas A&M they had the roller coaster 7. And Duke nosedive 15 spots.
Duke had a free fall, not a roller coaster drop.
Oh, yeah. That's jumping without a parachute. New to the top 25 this week is Wisconsin, Clemson, and San Diego State. Over on the ladies, we still have South Carolina and UCLA. They've been the top 2 spots for the last 3 weeks. North Carolina State up 2 spots. Iowa did not move. Texas is in the top 5. USC and LSU did not move. Colorado dropped a spot. Stanford dropped 6. Baylor went up 3. Utah went up a spot. The Ohio State went up 4. Kansas State went up 1. Notre Dame went up 4. Virginia Tech dropped 6. Indiana dropped 1. UConn dropped 6. That's the lowest for the Lady Huskies. Louisville up 4. Marquette up 4. Florida State down 5. And 5 new teams joining in: Washington State, Creighton, Gonzaga, the Tar Heels, and Penn State.
Hey, over in Connecticut, if their male mascot is not named Cornelius, can we make it so?
Sure, why not?
That way we have UConn Cornelius.
I like what you did there. Well
If you
done.
know, you know, kids. If you
Oh,
don't,
yeah, if you know,
do your
you know.
Rankin Bass research. It's Christmas time, for Christ's sakes.
That's right. Indeed. Remember, all this will lead up to March Madness in, I don't know, March.
Unlike the college football, which is madness now.
Woo-hoo! Rant warning, that's coming up. All right, we go from one set of hoops to the next set of hoops. And this is the NBA in-season tournament. We are in the knockout stage now. All the teams finished up last week. The 8 teams are the Bucks, the Knicks, the Pacers, the Celtics, the Lakers, the Suns, the Sacramento Kings, and the New Orleans Pelicans. Because believe me, if I say the Kings, I'm going to get it from Jeff. So you have to say Sacramento Kings. Last night, the Pacers beat the Celtics 122-112. The Pacers move into the semifinals. But all is not lost for the Boston Celtics because each player on the team gets $50,000 for making it to the quarterfinals. Along with the Sacramento Kings, the Pelicans won 127-117. Tonight's matchups are the Lakers and the Suns, and the Bucks and the Knicks. And I do believe the Bucks and the Knicks will be tipping off in 20 minutes, and the Lakers and the Suns get the late game at 10 o'clock. Then those 4 teams go on to the semifinals in Las Vegas. The finals are December 9th, and that one final game for this tournament is an exhibition game. It will not count in the regular season, and the winner of each player, the winner from each team gets a $500,000 bonus for winning this tournament. And in all honesty, and this is my personal opinion here, I will be glad that this is over because this tournament, although looking good on paper, hey Renegade, how's it going? It did cause a little bit of a problem last week with trying to figure out who wins and who loses and who, the group play was a bit of a mess. And there were situations, especially with the Sacramento Golden State game from last week. Golden State was winning by at least 13 points. And the Kings, the Sacramento Kings, they just wanted to be able to lose by 12 points to get into the playoffs, which they did. So the question became, do we try to advance in the tournament or do we just sacrifice this game and try and do better in the standings? In the end, Sacramento actually ended up winning the game, which allowed them to go into the knockout stage. And Steph Curry actually had the microphone on and he's like, oh yeah, we got this. We can hold them and we can still move on. And even the commentators were saying, what do you want to do in this? Do you want to play for the money or do you want to play it as a regular season basketball game? Either way, I'll be glad when it's over.
All I've heard about this whole tournament is just it's a giant cluster, on all fronts. And if you go by what we heard that it was supposed to generate more ratings, it hasn't done that.
I don't think it has.
I know it hasn't. I'm studying the numbers because that's what we Stat Boy Sports Bar is what we do is have stats and numbers. I've been checking out the numbers and it just they're not getting any more viewers than the NBA. NBA is already a popular televised sport as it is. It didn't do anything to move the needle in a positive direction. So
indeed,
if they were doing it on that, it was not a complete success. If they're using it to motivate the players are just kind of like, whatever. They don't even know what the hell's going on either. So
it's just extra money for them. I mean,
which is never a bad motivator, granted, but
well, yes. I mean, their contracts are insane. Let's face it. We've had the conversation many times where player contracts are up there. $500,000 is to their contracts. If they have anywhere between maybe a $20 and $25 million contract, that $500,000 is going to maybe cover the taxes. So it's kind of like tax-free money, I would think.
Probably cover their fines for later.
That too. That too. Indeed, you're absolutely right. Let's take a look at the standings so far at the end of the week. Let's bring that up. And we have a new number one team at 15-4. It's Dori's Minnesota Timberwolves, because Boston lost last night. They were tied at 15-4, but now win-loss records are the main statistic for the power rankings. So the better record wins. 15-4. Your Minnesota Timberwolves are your new number one team. Boston is number two at 15-5. Milwaukee Bucks are at 14-6. They are tied with the Orlando Magic. The Bucks have a slight point advantage, 121.1 to 114.3. Denver is in the top five at 14-7, and the Oklahoma City Thunder round out column one at 13-6. We go to column two. The Philadelphia 76ers took a bit of a drop, but not too bad. 4 spots. They're at the top of column two at 12-7. They are tied with the Knicks. They have a 10-point lead over New York. The Suns are by themselves 12-8. The Lakers are 12-9. The Pelicans are 12-10. And we go to the bottom of column two with the Pacers at 11-8, and they are tied with the Mavericks and the Sacramento Kings. 128.4, 118.2, and 116.5. Dallas took a bit of a drop, 4 spots, but they are right in the middle, which is you're pretty much your safe zone. You're not bad, you're not good, you're right in the middle. The Miami Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers are tied at 11-9, 113.1. Miami did drop 5 spots, but that's still okay. They're right in the middle. Cleveland dropped 1. They're down to 110.8. Brooklyn is at 9, and all the rest of the teams now are below 500. Atlanta hasn't moved for 3 weeks. They are at the bottom of column 3. They are tied with the Clippers at 9 and 10. The James Harden woes are still continuing in Los Angeles. I don't know what's happening with that. When they first got him, they were 0-4. They haven't. I needed to look a little bit more in their what's going on with them since that whole fiasco. Golden State is 9-11. They haven't moved for 2 weeks. They are tied with the Raptors, who haven't moved for 3 weeks. Houston is 8-9. Utah is 7-13. The Bulls are 7-14. The Charlotte Hornets start at the top of column 5 at 6-12. Portland is 6-13. Memphis hasn't moved for 3 weeks. They're 5-14. Washington is 3-16, tied with the Spurs. They have both not moved in 2 weeks, and the woes for the Pistons continue at 2-18 at the bottom of the barrel for the past month.
Like I said, the Pistons sacrificed their good sports juice, and the Lions can be successful this year. I stand by that statement.
Absolutely, indeed. All right. Cool. Moving on to hockey, we have a new professional women's hockey league. The ladies get to play hockey now. This is quite, I'm a little bit curious about this. And of course, here on the Sports Bar, we treat the women as equals with the men. So they're going to be brought into the lineup as well. It's the PWHL, Professional Women's Hockey League. The website is the PWHL. We have 6 teams, 3 from the U.S. and 3 from Canada. Unfortunately, they have not named the teams yet. So they're just going to go by their cities. Boston, Minnesota, and New York are the teams for the U.S., and Montreal, Ottawa, and Toronto are Canada. The Boston team are going to play at the Tsongas Center. The Minnesota team are going to share with the Minnesota Wild at the XL Energy Center. The team from Montreal are going to play at Place Bell and the Verdun Auditorium. New York is going to play at the UBS Arena, and I can't read my own graphic on that one. I do apologize for that. Ottawa is going to play at TD Place Arena, and Toronto is going to play at the Matami Athletic Center. The season starts on January 1st on New Year's Day. It is a 24-game season, so it's going to run just about almost time for the NHL playoffs, so they might run concurrently, depending on when the NHL boys decide to finish up their season, I think we'll be in the playoffs in May, and I think the Stanley Cup goes into June, if I remember correctly, on the calendar. So congratulations to the ladies. The issue with the teams were, from what I saw, each team went to the U.S. Patent Office to throw out some names, and somebody decided to leak that information, and the hockey groups did not like that. I do believe one team got a little bit of flack. I don't remember which one, but they wanted to name themselves the Pride. That might have, and I'm not fully on the story, but that might be an issue with the LGBTQIA plus crowd. I'm not certain on that one. I will look into that, but somebody didn't like it. I think another group wanted to call themselves the Fury. That didn't go too well. And these are all just, I'm trying to remember from what I read in the stories. So for now, it's all going to be by city. Yes, Jeff.
For the record, the UBS Arena is the current home of the Islanders, replacing the long-standing Nassau Coliseum. May she rest in peace. God bless her. Yeah. And Barclays, who had horrible hockey sight lines. The other one on there is the Total Mortgage Arena in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which is the home of the Islanders AHL team, the Bridgeport Islanders. So that's why they're playing both, because they're both the home to the Islanders system. So there you go.
Indeed, very good. So when the season starts on January 1st, that'll go into the rotation, and it'll go right into the boys playing. Let's take a look at what's going on in the NHL. And we still have the same three teams from last week are in the top three this week. The Rangers, the Bruins, and the Vegas Golden Knights are all tied at 37 points. It all comes down to records after that. The Rangers are 18-4-1, the Bruins are 17-4-3, and the Golden Knights are 16-5-5. The Canucks and the Avalanche switch spots. The Canucks have a 1-point lead over the Avalanche, 33-32, and the Kings are in sixth place, tied with the Stars. It goes to records. The Kings are 14-4-3. They have not moved for 2 weeks. The Stars gained a spot, and the Jets round out column one at 30 points.
You know why the Avalanche and the Canucks switch places? Because the Kings whooped the Avalanche ass on Sunday. That's why. Ha!
Yes, they did.
Anyway.
And also, congratulations go out to the Kings center, Anze Kopitar, for passing Dion Marshall in assists.
Whoa!
Did I say that wrong? I did.
God, right through the heart. Oh, fuck. Oh, that hurts. Marcel Dion. Oh, fuck.
Oh, I had it back.
You're lucky Frank's not here. My dad would kill you for that. Okay.
Paul will kill me too. And Renegade will kill me. Your whole family will kill me.
Well, no. Okay, no. Marcel. Okay.
Marcel.
First of all, I know. We'll go into your rant later. I'm gonna rant because you just botched that so bad.
I'm sorry.
Okay. You should be. Do your research, stat boy. Anyway. Oh yeah. Thank you, Jerry. I forgot all about that. I totally forgot. Thank you.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Mikey!
Thank you. That's a big one when you mess up a king name. Now, okay.
What do you expect from an Anaheim Duck bandwagon hopper?
Don't make it worse. Anyway, the fact that in my lifetime, 3 players have passed that pick. I don't have it up anymore, but Davey Taylor, my mom's all-time favorite, for longevity with the Kings, and now Kopitar's passed, at least in my lifetime, the 2 top assist garners in the entire history of the league, Dion and Gretzky, as far as the Kings stats are concerned, is amazing to me. I was so happy for Anze. I wish I had been able to, visit with him, but I did make sure I sent out the message to him and to his pup Gustel. So congrats to Anze again. I know we're trying to get through this really quick, but I just wanted to take the time. And since you bossed, I went ahead and took advantage of it. Kopi, love you, brother. So glad you're still with us. So glad your legs are still healthy. And like I said, he was part of Quentin Byfield's first goal. Quentin had 2 the other night. I keep telling everybody, Quentin Byfield realizes how big he is and how talented and young he is. The league's in deep shit, man. He had 2 goals the other night. So anyway, I'm good.
All right. Florida takes over column 2. They are tied with the Jets. They are both tied with the in the win losses at 14-8-2, but the Jets have a higher goal at 77. Florida, I believe, is at 72 or 73. I did not put that stat, but that's okay. Carolina is at 29 points, tied with the Red Wings. They are both 14-9-1. Carolina does have more goals. I just didn't put that number down. Arizona Coyotes, their stat, they actually played against 4 former teams that have, let's try that again, 4 teams that have won the Stanley Cup, and they beat all 4 of them. Henceforth, they moved up 11 spots. They were at the bottom of column 3. They are almost near the top of column 2. They took a huge jump. Congratulations to them. That's equivalent to a wrestler beating somebody who has had the title before.
The Coyotes. The Coyotes were part of Colorado's rough road trip. They were there. They were in. I think Anaheim beat Colorado, and then we sent them back to Denver with their balls in the bag after our win. So tough weekend for the Fs.
Indeed. Philadelphia is next at 28 points, tied with the Coyotes. Not too bad, 13-9-2 to 13-10-2. Toronto is also tied. It's a 3-way tie between Arizona, Philadelphia, and Toronto. The St. Louis Blues are at 27 points, tied with the Lightning, rounding out column 2. We move over to column 3. The Capitals and the Islanders are tied at 26. The Capitals have a better record at 12-8-2. New York hasn't moved. They're stuck there for 2 weeks. Penguins are at 25 points, tied with the Canadiens. Both have 11 wins. Both have 3 overtime losses, but Pittsburgh has lost 10 and Montreal has lost 11. Smashville, Nashville at 24 points. For the last 2 weeks, they have not moved. They are 12-12, right at 500. I do believe, there is them and only one other team has not gone into overtime. 2 other teams from what I'm seeing. The Devils are at 23 points. The Flames are at 20 points, tied with the Sabres. The Kraken should be there's a botch in there somewhere, but it's okay. And of course, the Ducks are at 20 points at column 4, just above the Wild. But the Wild did move up, so they're probably going to move into column 3 by next week. Have 20 points. The Oilers have 19. The Senators are at 18. And the Chicago Blackhawks and San Jose Sharks, again, 2 teams at the bottom of the barrel. 7 straight weeks for the Sharks since day 0, since day 1, bottom of the barrel. I mean, they're within striking distance. All they have to do is win 2 games, and they'll actually move up ahead of Chicago. But leave it up to the Sharks to mess things up for themselves. They're going for their version of the Connor Bedard Trophy 2.0, whoever that's going to be at the end of.
I don't think anybody should be going for anything labeled Connor Bedard here for a little while. Mr. Perry was exonerated of all that. However, let's keep Connor's name out of the news here for a few weeks later, Blackhawks. You need to clean that palette of anything and everything, brothers. That was.
Indeed, it is.
Oh, Corey Perry. But yeah. I love how the Pacific Division is either all in the first call or all in the last call. You love to see it. You love to see it.
Yes, you do. All righty. Before we get the rant going in college football, let's take a little break. And when we come back, rant time.
Will we like a long break or a short break, Mr. Host?
Let's do a short break.
All right. Here is where you can see coming up on our Open Bunk Night specials beginning on the eve of Christmas Eve.
righty, we are back.
Here we go.
Yeah, this is almost the end of college football. This is the end of the regular season with the championships. Believe me, we are definitely going to talk about this graphic in the upper right corner, but it was championship weekend, so let's get through those scores real quick. The Pac-12 championship. Washington defeated Oregon 34-31. In the Conference USA Championship, Liberty defeated New Mexico State 49-35. We do have some good news at the end. We have an extra, but the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship, which was also helped out by WWE, in which Texas defeated Oklahoma State 49-21. We'll have a little bit of extra with that. The American Athletic Championship, SMU upset Tulane 26-14. The Big Ten Championship, Michigan defeated Iowa State 26-0. The ACC Championship, Florida State defeated Louisville. The Mountain West Championship, Boise State defeated UNLV 44-20. MAC Championship, Miami of Ohio defeated Toledo 23-14. The Sun Belt Championship, Troy defeated Appalachian State 49-23. And the big news, which the only division that really matters in this part of the nation right now, the SEC Championship, the number one team finally got defeated by the Crimson Tide 27-24. What does this all mean? Look at the graphic in the upper right there. These four teams, the Michigan Wolverines, the Washington Huskies, the Texas Longhorns, and the Alabama Crimson Tide. These are your four teams that will be playing for the College Football Championship at the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl on January 1st. Now, my friends, it is rant time. As you can see by the records, Michigan and Washington finished the season undefeated, 13-0. You can't do any better than that. Alabama is 12-1. Texas is 12-1. They each lost a game. Florida State and Georgia were ranked number 5 and ranked number 6. Florida State also finished the season undefeated, 13-0. It was what is commonly known as a snub. The committee of 13 people who probably are, I would assume that they are anonymous. I'm not certain. But this report from ESPN senior writer Heather Dinich, written December 4th. It was between 1:30 and 2 a.m. Central Time on Sunday after the conference championship games when the 13 members of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee finally left their meeting room. They had been sequestered for hours as they determined the top 4 teams in the country. They knew what they could potentially wind up with, and it didn't feel good. As difficult as it was for them to remove their emotions from the process, the sinking feeling about excluding an undefeated Power 5 conference champion was tempered by the belief that they did what they were tasked to do: vote for the 4 best teams. That line right there, the 4 best teams, meaning one team is better than the other. So how are we snubbing Florida State? Okay, you are undefeated. You did not lose. You are better than a team that is 12-1. It's common sense. It's common knowledge. A team that is undefeated is better than a team that lost.
Asterisk.
Asterisk. Okay, fine.
Mention the asterisk. Why is it an asterisk?
We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
This issue with picking teams equals the greatest of all time debate. It certainly is part of power ranking. This was even said when Barack Obama became president. 60 Minutes did an interview, And they asked him, what are you planning to do for college football? He said, there needs to be a playoff of 8 teams, not 4. March Madness is 64 teams plus 4. Why doesn't that work in football? Probably because they want to play so much. There are so many different college teams in so many different divisions. It probably is more than 64. You don't have to be a big university. Look back home in California. There are smaller colleges. It's not all about UCLA and USC and UC Santa Barbara and UC Santa Cruz and UC San Francisco and Long Beach State and all that. There are smaller teams, but they all play in their own different conferences. So they figure, let the conference champion in. Of course, let the conference champion in. That's a given. But why, again, is a team that is undefeated being snubbed? It's not right. And even the analysts on ESPN, I watch First Take every Tuesday morning, and a little bit of Pat McAfee. I watch a little bit of him too. Both analysts said it's not going to solve the problem because next year, and this is going to happen, there will be a 12-team format. Meaning 12 teams will play, but that's not very even. If you look at bracketing, it goes, let's use NCAA, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. 12 is in between 8 and 16. So 4 teams that are probably not going to be the strong people, they're going to have to fight their way in. What if you have 12 undefeated teams? What if you have the 13th team that what if team number 12 has a loss and team number 13 doesn't? It's not going to be fixed. You're not going to make everybody happy. There has to be some kind of way to just do it, I mean, you always have to find, and again, I do this with my power rankings, you have to find a legitimate reason to find out why one team is better than the other. And of course, that causes all the problems. Again, I do it with my power rankings. If 2 teams have the same exact record, what do? I look at the points. If that's tied, I looked down to every single possible thing. In basketball, it's points. I don't like to put in home versus away. I did think about that, and I'll quickly say about that, and then I'll end my rant. The reason I don't like home record between away record is even though you're in your backyard, even though you're at your home court. For example, I'll use the Kings. Let's say for some reason, let's say the Kings and another Pacific Division team are tied all the way through every possible thing. But let's say the Kings have a better home record. But at the end of the day, the dimensions of a hockey rink is still the same. The location to me at that point is just not enough. Because whether the hockey rink is in your home or in another arena down the freeway, it's still a hockey rink. It's not your hockey rink, but it's still a hockey rink, regardless of location. That's why I don't like home versus away. I can also maybe deal conference and division. So CFP, you done screwed up. It's getting so bad that let's get the politicians are getting involved. Okay, now politics and sports, come on. No politician, no judge, no, not even the president himself, regardless of who it is going to, wave his magic wand because no government official or anybody, if you remember the LA Dodger or Houston Astro thing where they went to the LA City Council and said, can you guys overturn Houston winning the World Series? Come on. Do you really think the LA City Council was going to wave his magic wand and tell the all-powerful MLB that the Dodgers should win because the Astros cheated? No, it's not going to happen in government either. Okay, the president has more, any government official has a lot more on his mind. They want to take care of the people who live in their city, state, nation, whatever. To them, a sports issue is not going to be landing on their desk. What president in their right mind would want to sign an executive order saying that a team that is better than another statistically should be put into a championship?
President Jeff Meacham of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media. That's who, by God.
His first act as president is to make sure the Kings always win the Stanley Cup.
No. First of all, I'm not the president of the United States. That ain't my. I don't want that job. The pay ain't worth it. Now, before I rebuttal, let me bring in Zach. He's been waiting patiently for a few minutes. Hello, Zach. Good to see you.
Hello, Zach.
All right. Good morning, people.
Well,
Yeah.
Good morning. It's 4:45, but okay. Anyway, I'm sure you have something to say about this too, being a college football fan. But let me just unfortunately play the devil's advocate here, Mikey.
Go ahead, sir.
First of all, your comparison to other sports leagues and other levels of sports are not applicable, in my opinion, for two reasons. Number one, because of Joe's comment here in the chat room. I'll go ahead and do that first because that's a little less of a thing. Home field advantage in a win or a loss is everything, man. The 12th man, the sixth hot, all the cliches.
Mm-hmm.
They do make a difference. Number two, I don't feel there should be a one definitive college football championship until all the programs nationwide are brought up to the level of these four teams over here. Ohio State, just all. If the teams were at the same level, I can understand having one definitive championship.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're not, and again, why is Florida in there and they're undefeated? Because they're freaking ranked 55th or they're ranked 16th and they beat a 55 ranked team with a freshman quarterback. No, they beat a ranked 16 team and the kid only threw for 55 yards. That's why they're not in there, because that kid would get swallowed whole and the losing team would floss with him afterwards. It would be bad. He's not at that national championship level. The kid stepped into a shitty situation, and I commend him for pulling off the victory. But they still didn't beat a quote-unquote ranked team, a highly ranked team. So that's why FSU's not in this four. Now, shittiest part for me about all this is I got to root for Alabama on purpose. And this sucks. I hate rooting for the Crimson Tide. Sorry, Conrad, not sorry. Especially after watching My World and 83 Weeks yesterday. Good God, man. Instead of the Podfathers. Jesus Christ. Anyway. But he's not wrong as far as Florida State goes. He's not. As far as the other game, it's I really don't care. That stadium could implode and it wouldn't make a difference to the national scene, because whoever wins the Michigan Alabama game is going to win the championship. There's no way Washington's going to beat either of those teams. I don't think even Texas is going to beat either one of those teams. I'm being 100% real. So anyway,
I would give a slight edge to Texas over Washington. You don't mess with the Longhorns.
Right. It's one of those, put a gun to my head. I'm picking Texas just because of my knowledge, and they've got a good program. But either of those teams going up against either the freaking dipshit up north, I don't think the school should be banned, but I definitely think Harbaugh needs to go take a long walk off a short bridge, or Alabama. It ain't gonna happen. So anyway, Zach, I'll pass it to you, and then we'll do our thing after that.
Mr. Zach, go ahead.
Let's backtrack for a second.
Go ahead.
Before it became the playoff, everything came down to the BCS.
Yes, indeed.
So just imagine if we had the situation with the BCS still in play, then you would only have 2 teams instead of 4.
Yeah, it's still a big clusterfuck because the program levels aren't the same. They aren't uniform nationwide. Some programs, some conferences are so shit-tastic compared to some of the other ones. That's why the SEC is seen as so dominant.
Right. And the NCAA is paying attention. They're listening to people. Look what happened with James Madison. James Madison's fans went to the doorstep of NCAA's headquarters in Indiana and demanded that they get a bowl game and they be eligible for a bowl game. And the NCAA was just like, fine.
Yeah.
Yes, Florida State getting screwed was wrong, but it wasn't. It was, but it wasn't. How the committee looked at it, like this. Alabama won the most important game in the entire season.
Absolutely.
By beating Georgia.
Yep.
That put them above anybody who's won a game the entire season. Nothing else mattered. Michigan beating Ohio State, none of that mattered.
Yep, you're right.
Alabama beat Georgia, that's what mattered. Texas overjumps Alabama because the season started with Texas beating Alabama.
Right.
So, next year, we go to 12.
Yep.
How does that help though with an uneven bracket?
It doesn't.
Well, it doesn't, and what happens is a Power 5 school, like we're talking about the American Conference now. Now the highest group of 5 team would make the playoff. Like this year, Liberty made the New Year's 6, and they're a Conference USA school. So next year it becomes an entire cluster hell because whoever's the highest ranked group of 5 school, that could be from anywhere. That could be anything. That could be the MAC, the Sun Belt. I mean, you could have freaking the University of Texas El Paso or UMBC or some small school like that playing up against juggernauts. How does that help?
We don't know that it does, but again, it wasn't all bad this week in college football, of course, as of course WWE dipped their fingers into the pot and brought out one of their college Big 12 titles. We have to finish this without, remember, even though Dori Lou's not here, she teaches us to be positive. All the majority of stars came out, Undertaker and Michelle McCool and Drew McIntyre. Oh yeah, that was fun to see him running around the stadium with a cowboy hat on. And in the end, they helped out to give a. I love this. I'm pretty certain. I think Pat McAfee said this. He goes, "A belt holds up your pants. That is a title." And there he is giving the Texas Longhorn quarterback the championship belt for being the most outstanding player in the game. And there's Jade Cargill as well, and Sheamus.
There you go.
Samantha Irvin at the end. Nice to see Michelle McCool again too. But
she was there for Mark, man. She is not a Texas girl as far as football goes. She was towing the line, if you will.
oh yes, she was.
God bless her. That's a hell of a woman, hell of a wife right there. Put up with that shit.
Indeed.
Not to mean to flip it to WWE.
Go ahead.
But what does this say about how WWE feels about Jade Cargill? I mean, come on, bro. I mean, Jade's making big appearances representing the company. That means they have serious high hopes for this girl.
Exactly.
I hope they push her to the moon.
Yep. She's out there with the GOAT, if you want. I mean, people talk about the Undertaker. Out there with McIntyre, who's involved in a major part of the flagship show right now. Sam Irvin, who's arguably the most popular ring announcer this side of Howard Finkel. And you've got a legend. Sorry, JJ, I know you're not whatever, but a legendary women's wrestler. Undertaker's wife, of course, but she's part of that collective group they sent to the game. So. Taker, of course, leading the charge because that's his team. Hook 'em horns, man.
Hook 'em horns, indeed. All right, friends, we're going to take another quick break.
End of that game?
What happened?
What is it?
Did you see the end of that game?
No. I did not see any of the college game this week. I was busy as hell this weekend, actually.
So at the end of the Texas game, they're letting they put all the players, that never got a chance to play the entire season. They put them in the game.
Oh, okay.
As it's happening, Arch Manning walks onto the field, and the crowd goes ape shit.
Oh, God, Lord.
That was the loudest. I don't know what was louder, CM Punk in Chicago or Texas's crowd popping for Arch Manning coming on the field.
Well, again, hometown, home field, whatever you want to call it. It's important. Like I was talking about with your rant, home field advantage is key.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to Punk's reaction in St. Louis or wherever they were Monday night or last Monday night, rather, compared to where they were for Survivor Series when he came back.
Right. And the best part about it was the look on the coach's face from Texas. He was just like,
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, wait, did I make a mistake by not letting him play? Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did. A little bit.
All right. Let's take another quick break, and then we get into the meat and potatoes of Stat Boy Sports Bar, NFL football, week 13.
Here's where you can follow all the friends of the Jeff Meacham Network across social media. We need to get Zach's graphics back in here. Thank you for that thing reminding me.
Yes. Make sure you follow us all. Drop us lines. Be respectful. Use our hashtags. We need followers because MJF says so.
That's right. We are far superior to Aaron Rift, even though they're running the show right now too. That's okay. All right.
All righty. Week 13. Yes.
I'm gonna talk about this one real quick because I need to go step out for a second. But I was watching this game from the Hearthstone Lounge at the Grand California.
Mm-hmm.
They were making me have to. I had 2 old fashions at this bar because the Cowboys gave me such freaking palpitations. Thank God they pulled ahead. They were pissing me off. But how about them boys anyway? Here.
Indeed, how about them boys as the Cowboys defeat the Seahawks 41-35 and improve to 9-3, 6-0 at home. Dak Prescott, 29 of 41 for 299 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He is still below the threshold of 10, which he has promised. He did get sacked 4 times. Geno Smith went 23 of 41 for 334 yards, 3 touchdowns. He got picked off once. The Dallas defense did not sack him at all. Zach Charbonnet had 19 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown. Tony Pollard had 20 carries for 68 yards and a rushing touchdown. DK Metcalf went 6 of 8 for 134 yards, breaking the centennial mark, and with 3 touchdowns. And CeeDee Lamb went 12 of 17 for 116 yards, but also breaking the centennial mark with a 23-yard drive. This win also helps Dallas when we get to the power rankings. Dallas does have a playoff clinching scenario for week 14.
Absolutely. And it's the first time, I think, the entire season we've actually gotten a great game on Thursday night.
Indeed. What's next? Let's see what's next.
Oh,
yeah. God. Okay. This was boring. This was absolutely boring. It's so boring that I don't have the stats up right now for that. So let me. I mean, what is there to say? I mean, 6-0. The Patriots are not totally dead in the water just yet, but they are pretty darn close. Justin Herbert, 22 of 37 for 212 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Bailey Zapp, 13 of 25, 141 yards. No, he got sacked 5 times. Austin Eckler with 14 carries for only 18 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 17 carries for 52 yards. Keenan Allen, 5 catches out of 9 targets for 58 yards. Quentin Johnson went 5 of 7 for 52 yards. Devontae Parker, 4 out of 9 for 64 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 4 of 5 for 40 yards. New England, my friends, they are on life support. They can be eliminated in next week's game.
Their defense is great.
Yes, Jeff.
They got shut out at home by the Chargers. To anybody left, and I'm not counting my boy here because he admitted he picked the Patriots just to spite us for ramming the Cowboys down his poor throat. So they need any legitimate Patriots fans that still think there's a chance in hell of any sort of recovery with that numbnuts at the helm.
Shut your bitch ass up.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dwayne.
We shut them out at their house, too.
They are so bad this year. Like, this is not like Belichick hating because Lord knows I can do that all day. This is like, it's sad. I legitimately almost feel bad for them.
You know what makes it even worse, Jeff?
Yes, sir.
They have the number 2 defense in football.
Right? They have a defense that could win a championship. If the game was played on defense, they could be winning Super Bowls still every year. Yeah. They just don't have a friggin' offense. They can't even spank their own ass with both hands with this offense they've got. It's awful. 2-10, and they got shut out by the fucking Chargers at home. Oof.
Oh, God.
And then there's the damn Detroit Lions that keep on rolling.
Oh.
This is a rough one for New Orleans.
28. Let me bring up the stats on that one real quick. There we go. Here they come. Walking down the street. Jared Goff, 16 of 25 for 213 yards, 2 touchdowns, got sacked once. The Saints used Derek Carr, Jameis Winston, and Taysom Hill. Derek Carr went 17 of 22 for 226 yards. He got a touchdown. He was picked off once. He got sacked twice. Jameis Winston, 2 of 5, got 41. No touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks. Taysom Hill went 0 for 2. Jahmyr Gibbs, 8 carries for 60 yards. David Montgomery had 18 carries for 56 yards. Taysom Hill had 13 carries for 59 yards. Alvin Kamara, 14 carries for 51 yards. Sam Laporta, 9 catches out of 9. He was perfect, 140 yards. Almost got the Centennial and a Half award. He got 140 yards out of that. And Chris Olave broke the Centennial mark, 5 of 8 for 119 yards. Unfortunately, the Lions cannot clinch this week. I still want to get them in the number 1 spot, but yeah, come on.
So I actually had a live look in, believe it or not, true story, at the New Orleans Saints talking to their playbook writers.
Who the fuck wrote this bullshit?
Okay. So let's break this down.
Go ahead.
Derek Carr is in concussion protocol, and he has a shoulder injury and an ankle injury all at the same time. Yeah, he got pretty banged up. So Jameis Winston comes in. Oh, let's talk about how the game started. I turned on the game. I was 2 minutes late. Kick off the game, and then the game starts 21-0 in 4 minutes.
Yep.
4 minutes, 21-0. So I'm like, yep, screw this. I'm going to bed. And then I'm like, yeah, no, I got to watch the game. So I watched it, and, I watched us kind of claw our way back, and then Derek got hurt, which was one of the most brutal hits I've seen in a long time. I mean, he got Batista spine busted into the ground. It was rough. And then Jameis comes in, and Jameis's first pass, like, remember, 2 weeks ago, Derek Carr went into concussion protocol, and Jameis had to come in, and Jameis ended up throwing 2 interceptions in the fourth quarter. Well, this time, Jameis comes in, and his first pass gets tipped in the air, almost intercepted. It should have been intercepted. If the rookie from the other team didn't put his hand up like a moron, it would have been intercepted. But luckily it wasn't, and in your case, it was good for you, Mikey, because Chris Olave caught it, which set up a touchdown, and then things were looking so good, and then they just, Sam Laporta, man. Dan Campbell, if Dan Campbell is not the coach of the year, well, I don't know. I'm kind of biased between Dan Campbell and the coach from Houston, because what a story that is. But we'll get there. But no, Dan Campbell, what he's done for this franchise. Remember, Jeff, you remember this. We talked about it when he did his introductory press conference. You remember, Mike? He said, we're going to come in, we're going to bite your kneecaps off, and we're going to come at you, and then you're going to knock us down, and we're going to get up, and we're going to take another chunk out of your kneecaps. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They're taking caps out of your kneecaps, bro. Hey, great win to them. What the Saints need to do now is let Derek stay on the bench, let Jameis stay on the bench, and start the rookie. Because if you look at it, the next 2 weeks, the teams we play have a combined 5 wins. Let's see what the rookie can do.
Indeed. All right, what's next? The Falcons beating the Jets 13-8. Wow, 13-8. Yeah, that's a good one there. Aaron Rodgers actually was in the studio today with Pat McAfee, swearing like a sailor. Let's not forget that. I know McAfee is doing well, but he's actually saying, was your Achilles actually torn? He's like, of course it was. Desmond Ridder went 12 of 27 for 121 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, sacked 3 times. Tim Boyle, 14 of 25 for 148 yards, 1 interception, 1 sack. Trevor Siemian, 5 of 13 for 66 yards, sacked 3 times. Bijan Robinson, 18 carries for 53 yards. Dalvin Cook, 9 carries for 35 yards. Breece Hall, 13 carries for 16 yards. Kyle Pitts, 4 out of 8 for 51 yards. And Xavier Gibson, 5 out of 6 for 77 yards. Rodgers is cleared to practice after 11 weeks. He is ready to join the team. There are reports that I don't remember what they said fully, but I think Zach doesn't want to play anymore, or his desire is like out the window.
Nope. And the quarterback who started Sunday, they released him today. So it's just like,
okay, but there's still hope for the Jets because they are not done yet. They're on life support, but they're not out. So let's say Rodgers does come back. Let's say bring him back. Let's say if the Jets sadly do get eliminated, we're in week 14. We have 14, 15, 16, 17. We have 5 games left. Do you bring him back for a one-off just to make the fans happy? No. If he can go? Oh, wow.
do not be surprised. Do not be surprised. Who did they play this week? Hold on, let me look.
I have no idea, but I don't put him in until next season because if he gets hurt again, it's useless.
Oh, no, do not. I mean, he could logistically, realistically, he could come back this week, but I wouldn't do that because they're playing Houston. Absolutely not.
I wouldn't bring him back at all this year. They're 4-8. They're not going to do anything postseason. Let Grandpa rest up, see if he can get ready to go for next season. Honest to God. Like I'm not trying to be anti-Rodgers or be a dick. I'm dead ass serious. If he comes back at this point in the season and gets hurt, they have completely wasted the entirety of their investment in that guy.
Okay, fair enough. What's next? The Cardinals, they staved off an elimination week and they win 24-10 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kyler Murray, 13 of 23 for 145 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Mitch Trubisky, 11 of 17 for 117 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Kenny Pickett, 7 of 10 for 70 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, no sacks. James Conner, 25 carries, breaking the centennial mark of 105 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. Najee Harris, 16 carries for 63 yards. And top catchers were Trey McBride, 8 of 9, almost broke the centennial mark at 89 yards, and George Pickens, 4 of 5 for 86. Arizona is also in an elimination week this week. They're not out yet. The win helped them, but it's not looking too good on that one. What's next?
We've got a live look in at Greg Cherry's. He's prepping to do his rant about college football and about the Steelers' loss.
I'm trying to maintain my composure, but I can't make no promises.
And this is gotta hurt.
Panic.
This game had to hurt.
Panic.
It had to hurt Greg even more because that was James Conner's first 100-yard game since he left the Steelers.
Of course it was. It's going to be a long, long hour tomorrow. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, the woes continue for my residential Tennessee Titans. Unbelievable. In overtime, the Colts beat the Titans 31-28. Gardner Minshew went 26 of 42 for 312 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 3 sacks. Will Levis, 16 of 33 for 224 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interception, and 6-pack in the bad way. 6 sacks. You want to pick 6, But he got sacked 6 times. Zach Moss carried 19 times for 51 yards. King Henry did break the centennial mark, 21 carries for 102 yards with 2 touchdowns. Michael Pittman Jr. and Alec Pierce both got 100-yard games. Michael Pittman had 11 of 14. Alec Pierce 3 of 6. DeAndre Hopkins 5 of 12 for 75. And I don't even know how to say this guy's name, but it's cool enough to say it anyway. Chigaziam Okinawa. I had to say that one. That just caught my eye right now. 3 catches, six targets, 62 yards. Tennessee is not. I believe Tennessee can be eliminated this week. I have to bring that one up. Indianapolis is in the hunt, or no? They are currently in the playoffs right now. If the playoffs started today, go ahead, Jeff.
So, Mikey, are you saying the Colts defense is going? We sacked him 6 times. We sacked him 6 times.
Where did you get that cool knife?
Rob made it for me.
That's amazing.
It's not really a knife; it's a 3D print.
It was wonderful. Very good job. Well done.
Thank you.
What a tale of 2 halves this game was.
Right?
If Derrick Henry didn't get hurt, this game was going to be ugly because they could sack.
Yeah.
They could sack Will Levis all day.
Yeah.
They couldn't do shit with bringing Derrick Henry down.
The only game uglier than this one was the Patriots-Chargers game. That was just an ugly, low-scoring, shit-tastic clusterfuck. Oh, so bad.
Wow. That's a good use of the word. What's next?
And thank you, Miami, for making us the only, helping to make us the only winning team in the division this week.
Tyreek Hill. Oh, my gosh.
Miami defeats the Commanders. Miami is definitely in the playoff fix. 2 a time, 18-24, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. Defense couldn't touch him. Sam Howell, 12 of 23 for 127 yards, 1 interception, sacked 3 times. Brian Robinson Jr., 7 carries for 53 yards. Devon Akane, 17 carries, 73 yards. Raheem Mostert, I believe he is on the IR. That's Ramondre Stevenson. Wrong person with the R name. 11 carries for 43 yards. Tyreek Hill, centennial and a half, 5 catches, 7 targets, 157 yards. Pay that man. He broke the centennial mark. Curtis Samuel, 4 catches of 5 targets for only 65 yards. I have not seen anywhere that Washington can be eliminated yet, but we'll get to that in just a bit.
It's Washington. They're going to be eliminated.
And that's because the NFC sucks.
Most of the NFC.
Well, most of the NFC, not all of it.
Nope.
What's next? There you go. Houston. Well done. Houston does
Shit,
not
Maddie's going to be mad if he's on the show tomorrow, too. God, it's going to be a long day tomorrow.
I do not sympathize. Well, I do sympathize, actually. I can't be totally mean about that. Russell Wilson, 15 of 26 for 186 yards, 1 touchdown, picked off 3 times, and sacked 3 times. CJ Stroud, 16 of 27 for 274 yards. And then Davis Mills came in, and he got a completion for 18 yards as well. Javonte Williams, 13 carries for 46 yards. Damian Pierce, 15 carries for 41 yards. Cortland Sutton did the best. He only caught the ball twice, got 77 yards out of it. And Nico Collins almost got the double centennial, 9 of 12. Oh, it's 9 yards short of 200 yards in receiving yards. That would have been amazing to have Nico Collins on your fantasy team. Houston is in the race. Denver they're okay at 6-6. Both teams are doing quite well in their playoff pushes. And little Bart got to take out the spray paint can because thanks to this matchup, and you'll see in the power rankings, the Buccaneers not only beat the Panthers, but booted the Panthers completely out. They will be done. 21-19 is the final on that one. And let me bring up the numbers for that. We're looking at Carolina. Now, of course, this does not mean that they have to be done with they don't play anymore, but it just means that they're out. Bryce Young, 1531, 178 yards, picked off once, sacked 4 times. Baker Mayfield, 14 of 29, 202 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 1 sack. Chuba Hubbard broke the centennial mark at 25 carries and 104 yards. Rashad White, 20 of 84 yards. Jonathan Mingo, 6 catches out of 10 for 69 yards. Mike Evans, a centennial and a half, 162 yards, 7 of 12. Well, if this does not give Bryce Young a little bit of humble pie, his rookie season, high hopes for the kid, but
I have to correct you on one thing on that, Mikey. Though you said it doesn't mean they don't play anymore. They haven't been playing for 11 weeks. I mean, what's the difference?
So
anyway.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Sorry, Carolina.
Oh, come on in, Josh.
Puka, baby.
Oh, do we really want to bring Mansfield in for this?
No. I'm just saying he's in the chat room where he was. So
Rams beat the Browns 36-19. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, I know, right? You want to? If he wants to come in, he's more than welcome to come in.
No. I'm not saying he was. Just go on with the stats. We got to get this show going here.
We're almost done. Joe Flacco. Well, no wonder. There's a name from the past. Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Mother effing Flacco. 23 of 44, 254 yards. Will you stop that? 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, sacked twice. Matt Stafford, 22 of 37, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, 12 carries for 48 yards. Kyron Williams, 21 carries for 88 yards. Elijah Moore, 4 catches out of 12 for 83 yards. Puka Nacua did break the centennial mark, 4 of 7, 105 yards. Cleveland is still A-okay, though. It's 1 loss. It's not the end of the world. At least I don't think so.
Puka, baby.
All right. This was amazing. This game was just so overhyped because if Philadelphia would have won this game, they would have locked up their spot, no questions asked. Instead, they have to wait another week, and they could conceivably lose the number 1 spot if they played and lose. Well, they are playing and they are lose, and I hope they do lose to Dallas next week because I want it to happen because I said so. 42-19 was the final. Brock Purdy, 19 of 27, 314 yards, horseman style, 4 touchdowns, sacked twice. Jalen Hurts, 26 of 45, almost got the 300 yards, 298. 1 touchdown, sacked 3 times. CMC did not get the centennial mark. 17 carries, 93 yards. Jalen Hurts was also lead rusher. 7 carries for 20 yards. Not too bad. Deebo Samuel did break the centennial. 4 catches out of 4 for 116 yards. A.J. Brown broke the centennial mark with the Eagles at 114 yards. Eagles-Cowboys, I think, is going to be a much better game than this one. That's what I'm looking forward to next week.
Quite so.
The number 1 spot is on the line in the power rankings between these 2 teams. The only way that will not happen is if San Francisco and Detroit score a ton of points. That's the only way. So this is for the big-time number 1 contender spot.
That's accurate.
You sure about that?
I'm sure about that. In my power rankings, yes. In the league stuff, they can do it however they want.
Right.
Are you sure about that, Mike?
Yes, I'm sure about that. What am I missing?
Miami would also be tied up there too, and they have the most points in the league.
It's accurate, Mike.
I'm putting my money on the Cowboys this week. I will gladly put Miami at the top spot if they earned it. I want to put the Cowboys or the Lions number 1 at some point. I've wanted it this season.
You want, and your obligation as a reliable statistician are 2 different things, good sir. Otherwise, you know better than the people you ranted on earlier. Throwing that out there.
Thank you.
All right.
Wow, here's a shocker. The Packers.
Oh, wait. I forgot something. Sorry. I forgot something.
By the way,
To the Eagles fans.
I almost forgot. Go fuck yourself.
Thank you.
That was him, not me.
No, that's all me.
Yeah, that's all you. All right.
To the Eagles fans, not related to me by blood. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Right
fine.
there. Okay. I'm good now. Thank you.
Good now? Okay, good. We're almost done. There you go.
Go ahead.
Here today?
Next game.
Okay, Packers and Chiefs, 27-19 was the final score. Packers. Wow, I think it's 2 games that they pulled off quite well. Patrick Mahomes, 21 of 33 for 210 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, sacked 3 times. Jordan Love, 25 of 36, 267 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Isaiah Pacheco did break the centennial mark at 18 carries and 110 yards. A.J. Dillon only got 73 yards. And Travis Kelce was top catcher at 4 out of 5 for 81. Romeo Doubs, 4 out of 5, 72 yards. KC is okay. Green Bay is still in the hunt. It's not nothing to worry about. They're both contenders.
It could have been a contender.
It could have been a contender.
So Taylor was there and they lost.
We're not talking about that.
No.
About Tay-Tay.
No. Hold on. The funniest. No. I'm not going there.
Okay. All right.
Everybody was talking about all this person was there. This person was there. Liv Morgan was there with Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah, Liv was there. Tony was there. Tony Shalhoub was there. Also, who else was Liv standing there with?
It's awesome.
Oh hell! I showed my dad the picture at the hockey game too. Liv was standing there. Oh, with the Olympian, Simone Biles. God darn it! Yeah. Why'd you leave Canberra? What are you up to up there?
I guess I'm having a good rainstorm outside. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, and the Monday night game, which was not very lackluster. Unfortunately, Trevor Lawrence had to leave the game due to an injury. Hope he's okay, but
he's got a high ankle sprain.
For real. Yeah, for real. I hope the kid's okay. Yeah.
The Bengals win in overtime, 34-31. Jake Browning went 32 of 37 for 354 yards, 1 touchdown, and 0 interceptions, sacked twice. Trevor Lawrence went 22 of 29 for 258 yards, 2 touchdowns, sacked twice. C.J. Beathard 9 of 10 for 63 yards, sacked twice. Joe Mixon, 19 carries for 68 yards, 2 touchdowns. Travis Etienne Jr., 11 carries for 45 yards. Jamar Chase broke the centennial, almost got a centennial and a half, 11 of 12. And Evan Ingram almost got the centennial, 9 catches out of 9, 82 yards. Bengals are 6-6. Jaguars are 8-4. No need to worry about that as far as the playoffs coming up. So there's all your games for Week 13. Let's take a look and see where everybody stands as we bring up the power rankings. And there it is. The Eagles are still the number 1 team at 10-2. They have been that way for 7 weeks. The Cowboys are right on their heels at 9-3 at 388 points. Again, right now, between just those 2 teams, the winner will have the number 1 spot, depending on where Miami goes, as Miami is playing the Titans. So as you can see, Cowboys and Miami are separated by 4 points. So as long as Miami scores 4 points more than the Cowboys, depending on what the Cowboys and the Eagles do, they'll have the top spot. San Francisco is in number 4.
Alexa, right?
Yeah.
Was this turn on?
Why?
No, I'm trying to make sure I can say the name without turning it on.
Oh, hang on. Mikey, I'm sorry. I realized I was muted. I apologize.
That's all right. San Francisco's at 352 points, and the Lions are at 327 points. The Ravens are at 324 points. So it all comes down to basically, again, the Eagles, Cowboys, Miami, Tennessee, maybe San Francisco, depending on how many points they score. The Lions will not get number one, even if they win. The Jaguars did not make a move with their loss. They stay put at 3 weeks, and the Chiefs stay put, rounding out column one. We move over to column two. The Colts and the Texans, the Browns, and the Steelers are all 7-5. Colts have the most points at 300. We move down to the teams that are at 500. The Bills, the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Vikings, all at 6-6. And the Broncos, and the Packers, and the Bengals, and the Falcons. Wow. Goes from one column into another. Bills have the most points at 328, then the Rams at 268, Seahawks at 264. Vikings and Broncos are tied at 263. The Vikings have given up less points than the Broncos. Green Bay stays put at 258. Cincinnati at 247. Atlanta at 226. Chargers, Saints, Bucks, and Raiders all at 5-7. 275, 257, 233, and 202. And finally, column four, the spray painting by Little Bart has taken its toll. Chicago at the top at 4-8, tied with Tennessee. The Jets are also 4-8, and the Giants are 4-8. Commanders are 4-9. Atlanta are 3-10. New England is 2-10, and Carolina is out. Of course, the other teams there cannot win their divisions. And again, the red is now going to start creeping up. It can happen this week. And let me quickly bring up some of the elimination scenarios. Arizona is eliminated completely if the Rams win and the Packers win, or the Rams win, the Packers tie, and Minnesota wins or ties. So, and I think Arizona is Arizona on their bye week this week? Yes.
Oh, wait. Here, wait. We can do that right now. Because you know what? I didn't put the bye in here, but the bye week is I sent it. I meant to anyway. Damn it. Where did it go? There it is.
Got it?
No, I don't have it here. Just kidding. But yeah, there's like 6-7 teams on the bye this week. So next week's going to be a very different multiple scenarios.
It's Buffalo, Chicago, Vegas, Minnesota. Wait, that's not right.
No, it is.
That is? So who's
Hang
Arizona?
on.
Oh, Arizona's playing. No, week 14, not week 13. That's why I was wrong.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was
It
like,
is
wait.
Arizona and Washington. They are on the bye week. So Arizona can be eliminated and not even play. So that's the scenario that I wanted to discuss.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So what else is happening in the eliminations? Chicago can be eliminated from the North Division title as long as Detroit wins or Minnesota wins. Seattle will be knocked out of the NFC West if they lose. So they have their own destiny on that one. If it's just them and nothing. They lose, they're out. They win, they stay alive. Minnesota cannot be number one if they lose.
You're going to see me tonight, you doof.
I know. I don't know why I'm saying that.
Minnesota can be knocked out of the number one spot. Green Bay can be knocked out of the number one spot.
Sorry, guys.
Seattle can be knocked out of the number one spot, and so can the biggest scenario would be New Orleans being knocked out. The main one is if they lose. There are tons of scenarios that all involve San Francisco winning. Tampa Bay can be knocked out of the number one spot. The Rams can be knocked out of the number one spot. If the Patriots lose, they are out. The Red will take care of them. Tennessee can be knocked out of their division and completely out. There's one big scenario. Tennessee needs to lose. Jacksonville and Cleveland need to end up in a tie. Indianapolis needs to win. Pittsburgh needs to win. And Houston needs to win. That will eliminate the Titans all the way up at the top of the column. The Bengals, they can lose their division as well. Of course, the big news again coming into the week is the clenching scenarios. There are 10 different ways the Eagles can win, with the number one being the Eagles win and the Rams lose. Those two things have to happen. Everything else, as long as the Eagles do not lose, there is a way for them to clinch. Same thing with Dallas. They have to win. There are tons of combinations. You can find all these combinations with the Twitter handle. This is where I get the majority of my stuff. NFL playoff scenarios on Twitter. This guy helps me out greatly. San Francisco has the easiest clinch. All they have to do is win and hope Minnesota loses. We do have a graphic ready for that too next week. It is cartoon based. I'll let you see it next week if the clinchings happen.
Okay.
As far as the playoffs go, if the playoffs started today, let me bring that up real quick, and then we will be done for the week. If the playoffs started today, if I can get that.
I don't have that one. You didn't send me that.
I know. I'm quickly looking it up right now.
Oh, okay.
I should have made that. But I didn't, and now it wants to be stupid.
I know.
I know. Come on, give it to me.
Give me what I want.
Give me what I want. What do you want? Tell me what you want.
I was freaking doing what do you call it? Batista.
Right, I got you.
Okay, good.
Well, if I have it correctly, Miami would be the number 1 team and Philadelphia would be number 2. The 49ers would be playing Green Bay. The Lions would be playing Minnesota. Atlanta would be playing Dallas. The Ravens would be playing the Colts. The Jaguars would be playing the Browns. And the Chiefs would be playing the Steelers. So if I have that correct, I should have brought that up, but I apologize. So it's going to be a crazy week like it always is in football. The Pick'em contest, week 12 and week 13, I did get caught up with that. A lot of ties. Dori Lou's and Jeff's were paying because Dori Lou did write down her picks in her notebook, but she took her notebook to work with her, so I couldn't verify her results, but I did see her picks. I just did not get them. In week 13, Nathan, Renegade, JP, and Zach each got 8. The overall is tied with JP and Daniel at 120, Nathan at 116, Emmanuel at 113, Renegade at 106, Zach at 103, and Pop at 100. Dori and Jeff are pending. I wanted to confirm that Jeff did not make picks I'm pretty certain he did for week 12, but I'm not certain if he did for week 13, so that will put a bit of a damper on the overall. But at least football pick'em is caught up. Fantasy, on the other hand, not even close. I still need to work on that one.
Okay.
All righty. That ends all the sports news for the week.
So before you do the positive stuff, I do want to put JJ's comment. I did start. I want to make sure I pointed it out because he pointed it out in the chat room. Denny Lane passed away today, apparently. Rest in peace to the member of the Moody Blues and Wings.
Darn. Oh, that's.
And since graphics still up, we'll go ahead and acknowledge JJ's braggadocious comment.
Of course, that'd be a shirt. That could be a shirt there.
That should be a shirt.
All right.
All right.
Shout out for the week, and Dori Lou did not give us a positive for the week. I do apologize for that. But there is a person. His Twitter handle is. Let me make sure. Can you zoom in just a little bit on that, Jeff, to make it a little?
It's at Awaken Day Saint. One word. Awaken Day Saint, but one word on Twix.
Yes. What this person does, and this is amazing. He'll take any picture that you can send to him. You just put the picture up on Twitter, and he makes a Lego figure out of you. You guys know I love Legos. I've always loved Legos. And now, I sent him the picture of Dori and I from the Minnesota-Nashville game at Bridgestone, and I sent him the picture of Shawn Michaels and myself, and those are the results. There's Dori and I as Lego figures, and the next one over, if you can.
I'm trying. Just give me a minute. God damn. There we go.
That is what Shawn Michaels and myself look like. What's more marking out here, he made the little world heavyweight title right there. He put it around my waist. Isn't that that is amazing.
That's pretty
I don't
cool.
know how this guy does it. I don't want to know how he does it, but it is amazing. It is wonderful.
Right.
Just all you got to do is just go onto Twitter or X, put his Twitter handle, send him a picture, and within maybe an hour or so, you get your own little Lego figure. And what would really be cool if you actually can make it a legitimate Lego figure. I'm pretty sure you can do that at the Lego store or something. But thank you so much for doing this. It's what you do is cool. It's, this is the little kid in me coming out of me right now. This is amazing. Dori saw this, and she, big smile on her face. I don't think he can do logos. That's why he put an A there. He did okay with the NHL logo. He could not put the Kings logo, I guess. I don't know, but it is tremendous. So thank you so much for doing that.
I'll work on it for you, brother. No worries.
Well, what I'd really like to see now, I don't want to overstay. I don't want to send too many pictures out there. But what if we send him a picture of us doing open mic night and we all get turned into Lego figures?
Possibility.
I know you like to be a Lego figure.
It would be more Dylan's thing if he was still into Legos, but I know Legos are primarily your deal, brother. So I'm happy you and Dori got it. Like, all I say is I'll work on the logos on the picture you already have, is what I was trying to say.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And I actually put the Minnesota Wild and Kings logos on your jerseys. Anyhow, where are we at here? There's my directions. All right, so we're into the shills. Here we go.
Yes.
If you missed this debate between JJ and James Hebert, please go check it out. It's from last Friday after SmackDown on the East Coast feed. Yay or nay on CM Punk returning to WWE being best for business. Please check it out in the archives. JJ and James did a great job for over an hour. Tremendous work by them. You can also check out the rest of JJ's work every Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern on Foot Level Wrestling. It's exclusive to the Casa D-18 Studios with his recaps of Raw, NXT, SmackDown, Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. And that's every Monday through Thursday. Tomorrow, we'll be getting all up in the college talk again.
Yep.
And this probably talk about the Steelers and the Broncos, too, because they didn't win this weekend like the Cowboys did. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow, the Greg Cherry Show, Wednesday, December 6th, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. Also, Thursday will be a twofer from good old JM, if you will. We're actually going to tape the second one tonight after we're done here. But Talk Wrestling, of course, will be live at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific across the multiverse, as well as NoDQ.com. And then we will be tonight, again, taping the return of our Throwback Thursday segments leading up to the return of TNA Wrestling at Hard to Kill on January 13th with the very first episode of NWA TNA, the very first weekly pay-per-view from all the way back in 2002. That'll air Thursday night, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific, on demand, if you will, premiere, if you will. That'll be on the Jeff Meacham Network exclusively. And then we get into the watch-alongs because we just don't have enough to freaking do as it is around here. SmackDown will feature a tribute to the troops this year. It'll be Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. We'll probably be live about 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, depending on if everybody's home on time, all the things. And then we have a scheduling change for this. Oh. We are now doing Final Destination first, due to JJ having a familial obligation during the live feed of NXT Deadline. So we're pretty just moving them. So Final Destination. That's the wrong kind of movie to go see. Final Resolution will be at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific with the kickoff, and then we will start NXT Deadline right around 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 Pacific, which means Open Mic Night will now be a Sunday brunch this week, coming up on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. So special alert there. Sunday brunch for Open Mic Night this coming weekend, because we're busy as hell Saturday night with all the watch-alongs and the Hanukkah dinners and all the things. So everybody's busy. Monday will be the Dads Not Always on Wrestling's first of 2 Christmas-themed episodes this December. But it's not really Christmas-themed because it's going to be our top 10 Christmas songs that aren't about Christmas. So be on the lookout for that coming up on Monday the 11th. And then the following Monday, let me go ahead and do the thing real quick here. Let's see. Don't want to do that. I want to do that. Thank you. I need to figure out how to do this easier than I'm doing it because I know there is a way, but that's okay. We'll figure it out at a later date because we got to get through this shit and get out, move on here. All right. Over on Twix, on my Twix feed, you can check out this poll right now. You can vote for which of the two songs mentioned here are the best about Santa Claus. Here Comes Santa Claus, as they're dun, 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 right now Santa Claus playing, or Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Not any particular version, not any particular artist, just the song itself. We have 3 through 10 picked out. We actually have all 10 picked out for this episode, and we're going to rank 3 through 9 here, or 3 through 10 here, probably pretty shortly. But the winning vote will be, of course, on top, and then the second will be number 2, and that episode will air on Christmas Day, December 25th, on delay, the top 10 Christmas songs about Santa Claus. That is coming up on Christmas Day itself. We may not. I botched that fucking joke. We may not see 3 ships come sailing in, but by God, we will have songs about Santa Claus on Christmas Day. Speaking of Christmas songs, by the way, on the eve of Christmas Eve, coming up Saturday night, December 23rd. If I can get the bloody share screen to work without a freaking hassle, which is always a challenge around here, we'll go ahead and there to go. Come on. There we go. Nope. That one. No. That one. Thank you. On the eve of Christmas Eve, we will have our second annual Christmas karaoke night, December 23rd, 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 Pacific, with our start time. Everybody is invited. It is a all invite. We're not just having the staff, if you will, or the team, if you will. And unfortunately, we did lose JJ to Wamhala today. So a lot of people in my circle are out already. I avoided the Kings game. Dieter and the DJs did not play last Christmas on Sunday, so I avoided it. I'm very happy. One weekend.
The only reason I'm avoiding it is because I'm listening to a remix version of it every day at work.
There you go. And yes, we don't encourage y'all to bust people out and send them to Wamhala, but we do encourage you to put earbuds in when you're walking into retail and grocery establishments. I am not kidding.
But let's face it, if this game was All I Want for Christmas Is You, I would be dead the very first day.
I'd have been dead at the Guns N' Roses concert before the game even started because they had advertising for that song all over the friggin' place. Anyway, then, I did that already. Then we come to the end of the year, my friends, and it is Open Mic Night episode 100. It is the end of year 4, going into year 5, the Jeff Beach Network. It is our 2023 highlight reel. It is our coast-to-coast countdown to 2024, and it all begins New Year's Eve night, December 31st at 8 p.m. Pacific, with the countdown to 9 p.m. Pacific and the new year on the East Coast of the United States. And those, my friends, are your shills for today.
Excellent. I would like to thank everybody who was watching along, keeping an eye out. It's all because of you guys. I do this for you. I do this because it's fun. I do this because I like your comments and your tweets and your Facebooks and all that stuff, everything in the world of sports. We're going to do it again next week. I can't wait. For the Stat Girl, for the Jeff Meacham, for the DJ Mud King.
The Jeff Meacham. That's right, bitches.
Yeah, the Jeff Meacham, because his name is right. Marquee. For the Casa D-18 Studios, for the entire multiverse of media. I love you all. It's the end of the year as we know it, and Renegade feels fine. I love you all. See you next week. Stat Boy out.
The Jeff Meacham Network's multiverse of media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.